What up? What it do? It's your boy Bonds83. And you know where I'm at. You know what I'm doing. I'm talking shit again. But today I want to talk a shit of a different tone. Today is so-called Thanksgiving Day. It's November 28th, 2013. And I just want to make a little video because every year, and I appreciate it, people. I know where it's coming from. People send me, oh, happy Thanksgiving. But first of all, I don't celebrate these so-called holidays, aka holy days, that the government institutes as national holidays and stuff like that. Because behind most of them is a meaning. And every year I got to go through what the meaning of the so-called Thanksgiving is. Most of us know from school that it goes back to the Pilgrims and the so-called Indians, which are the natives, but it's deeper than that. It was a reason why that particular incident took place on that day. So what I did is I got my little paperwork, and some people believe it, some people don't. You know what I'm saying? You can research it. You know what I'm saying? It might not pop right up. You might have to dig a little deeper or whatever. But I'm just going to read to you because if I post it up as, something for you to read, it's like 3 pages long. A lot of people are not going to read. They read a little bit, they don't get the full understanding. So I'm going to read it to you. I know most people are more visual. Like you can watch a movie compared to reading a book. Some people read books, but a lot of people watch movies. People listen to music because, by nature we lazy. We don't want to read or we don't want to research the information. We just go off what somebody tell us or whatever. But I'm not going to get all into that. Let me get into this. All right, Thanksgiving. Now this is by Cheryl Lofton Wooden Bay. Okay, now for a little history lesson. Consider the following, which is not typically taught to the people. Let me see, working out. Okay, here we go. It all began in the year 711 AD, a very important and historical year for Muslims. Ever wonder why you see so many Arab Muslim-owned stores called 7-Eleven, which are ran and operated by Arab Muslims? Now you know why. In the year 711 AD, the great Moorish warrior Jabal Tariq led an army of 7,000 fearless men, 6,700 native Moorish Africans, and 300 Arabs on the coast of Spain. On April 30th, Tariq and his army crossed the Strait of Hercules. He seized a great cliff and a portion of land around it. Deeming it strategically important and beneficial, he instructed his army to construct a fortress on the site, which his men named after him out of respect and admiration. They named this area Raqqa Jabal, and it was later corrupted to Raqqa Gibraltar. After the arrival of the Moors, life would never be the same again in Europe. The Moors were commissioned by Governor Julian of Ceuta, Ceuta in Arabic, who sought revenge against the immoral and brutal King Roderick of Spain for sexually taking advantage of his daughter, who was under the care and guardianship of King Roderick while training at this court. The Moors were dignified, proud, and noble civilization known for spectacular advances in science, medicine, and architecture, which include the invention of eyeglasses, the invention of the science called orthodontics, the invention of antiseptics, alcohol, and silver nitrate, and hundreds of more profound innovations. The architectural innovation of the Great Mosque of Cordova is still one of the major sights to see in Spain. The Moors also invented the magnetic compass and astrolabe, 2 medieval instruments that would later help Europeans travel the western seas and come in contact with many of the original peoples of the earth in which they would later enslave for European economic growth and prosperity. Spain became sophisticated by beautiful and stunning Moorish architecture. Beautifully designed mosques, libraries, and schools sprang up in Moorish cities. Water fountains and public bathing and restroom facilities were made available to every citizen of Moorish cities. Education was offered to all citizens, including women who were denied education in Europe during this time. Moorish Spain became the light of Europe, which was engulfed in the Dark Ages. The standard of living far exceeded that of the Europeans who were jealous and envious of the Moors' accomplishments in Spain. The Christian Spaniards fought hard to rid Europe of their benevolent Muslim conquerors. There were eventually many bloody Muslim Christian battles. A good movie showcasing these battles was El Cid, featuring Elizabeth Taylor. The powerful Moors were able to hold off the Spaniards for nearly 800 years. Finally, in-house fighting and interracial sexual relationships between Moorish men and white Christian Spanish women who remained covertly loyal to Christianity weakened and destabilized the Moorish Empire and led to consecutive military defeats. In the year 1491, the Moors surrendered the city of Granada, their last stronghold. On November 25th, 1491, the Moors signed the Act of Capitulation, after which Spain's King Ferdinand II and Queen Isabella took took possession of the city. The Spanish Christians were thankful for the Moors' Thanksgiving of Granada, ending Islamic rule in the country. This was a merry and festive day in the eyes of the European and will henceforth be a day of thanks. The defeat of the Moors brought three options: replace their Islamic and Asiatic customs with European customs and Christianity, be expelled from Spain, or face execution. After the expulsion of the Moors, Cardinal Ximenes, backed by Pope Alexander VI of Rome and Queen Isabella, ordered the destruction of the beautiful and stunning Moorish libraries and mosques. Many Moors were driven into West Africa and were later captured and sold into America as slaves. Some of these slaves came on the slave ships of Christopher Columbus, a Spanish Jew, who was commissioned by Queen Isabella on his voyage to the New World. Many other Moors sought refuge in the country of Anatolia. These expelled Moors, from Spain would later be called Turks, as in Turkish Moors, and the country would later be renamed Turkey by Europeans. After the expulsion of the Moors, Europeans began to annually celebrate November 25th. There would be great feasts all over Spain and Europe. Turkey bird was not the main meat dish served, but a fat roasted pig with an apple in its mouth, representing or symbolizing rebirth or a new beginning. Europeans ate so much on this feast day that virtually nobody could work the next day, which explains why in modern times many corporate jobs give their employees the day after Thanksgiving off. Years later, Europeans began to take revenge on the Moors, now called Turks, because of the sexual relations the Moors held with white Christian Spaniard women. The black men, Moors, were mockingly called turkeys, and were called this by European men because of their alleged wild and uncivilized nature. European Christians would now go on a turkey shoot or turkey hunt. The hunting of the stern Khajarite Moor from Turkey, Anatolia, became an act highly regarded by Europeans at the time. In the process of the turkey shoot, Europeans would engage in the wholesale slaughter of the black-skinned Turkish Moors. Innocent Moors would be hunted down cold-blooded by European Christians. Many others would be captured, tied by their wrists and ankles with a rope, and roasted alive, just like you roast that turkey bird in the oven for Thanksgiving dinner. The Moors that were not roasted alive were laid on the ground, and the European male would take a knife and literally carve up the Turk, which is what many people reenacted when they carved a turkey bird on Thanksgiving. This bloodied, carved-up Turk, Moorish man, would then have his internal organs removed and his body stuffed with certain fabric material, the sick origin of the stuffing of the turkey bird with bread stuffing or dressing. The Moorish women were literally carved and cut apart the way meat eaters and butchers today cut up a chicken. Many European men would say, "Give me a breast," or "I'll take a thigh," or "I want a leg," just like meat eaters today do when they are ordering fried chicken. Breasts, thighs, legs are all female sexual related and connotative body parts, as women are sized up and critiqued by the size of their breasts, thickness of their thighs, and the smoothness and build of their legs. Feminist meat eaters should think about the sexual politics of meat the next time they are brutally biting into a piece of chicken or any animal commonly eaten today for that matter, as all meats are females. After this violent and brutal act, supra-European men would then engage in joyous merrymaking, which would culminate with a great big feast. This is what you call Thanksgiving, and eagerly celebrate every year under the false notation that you are celebrating a friendly act and feast between Native American, so-called Indians, and European settlers called pilgrims. In regards to African Americans, descendants of the great Moors, they foolishly today celebrate Thanksgiving. Yes, they celebrate Thanksgiving and feast the same way the Europeans did after they conquered the Moors on November 25th, 1491. And in this, they celebrate the loss of their own land, the rape of their own women, and the murder of their own children, the humiliation of their own forefathers, the fall of their empire, the enslavement of their people. They celebrate this dark and shameful day of their own people and call it Thanksgiving. So there you have it, people. Now you see why I don't celebrate this day. You know, me being Moorish American and knowing my history and knowing where my forefathers come from, I just can't take part in it. You know what I'm saying? Do I eat today? I eat every day. Do I eat turkey today? No, I do not. I haven't for years, and those that know me know I don't. And, you know, maybe this video will help you and we can stop, you know what I'm saying, celebrating the slaughter of our own people. You know what I'm saying? So with that note, peace, and be thankful every day. All right.